Welcome to Just Next Door. Buckle in because we've got places to go.
From fine arts and ice cream to thrift stores and toy shops.
We've got what you're looking for right here in Philadelphia.
So come on, join us as we show you what's just next door. Welcome to Just Next Door, where we take you to visit some of the best places in Philadelphia. I'm Mark Narish.
And I'm Will Shannon. Boy, do we have great things to see today. I'm super excited to find out what our neighborhoods have to offer.
That sounds really...
Not only that, but I've heard Manayunk is the place to go and have fun. Roll the clip.
Hey, wait.
Named a National Historic District in 1983 and a classic town by the Delaware Valley Regional Planning Commission in 2007, Manayunk is centrally located just 15 minutes from Center City, Philadelphia, King of Prussia, Chestnut Hill, and the Main Line. Nestled along the banks of the Schuylkill River and the Manayunk Canal and towpath, the commercial district is lined with renovated Victorian storefronts and mill buildings, giving you an urban experience with small-town charm. The busy thoroughfare has 275 businesses, including shops, galleries, boutiques, and scores of bars and restaurants. If you're looking to get active, Manayunk's towpath is a practical place for jogging, walking, hiking, and off-road cycling. For your convenience, rental bikes are available in Manayunk. Fishing is also a favorite pastime. If you want to know more about Manayunk, you can visit their website at manayunk.com. So next up...
Stop. I didn't get a single word in yet. What are you so excited for?
Oh, I'm sorry. To be honest, I've been talking to this girl.
Oh, I see. A special lady, huh?
Yeah, and I just couldn't keep my excitement down because she recently said yes to a date.
So now you're rushing to find the best place for a first date. In that case, how about some ice cream and video games?
You mean like a play date?
Something like that. Let's just take a visit to the Tubby Robot.
We've been here for nearly 5 years at this point. We kind of made it because we wanted to combine our two loves of ice cream and video games. Our customers are fantastic. Like they really range from people who live a couple blocks away and walk here every night to people who ship in. We have international visitors to Manayunk a fair amount, so we have new people every day. And it amazes me that every day we still have people like, this is my first time.
Before COVID, it was a much more dynamic place. We had video games, and a lot of people used to come in and order and actually spend a lot of time here, which I do miss now.
Even though the pandemic halted the video game aspect of Tubby Robot, they are still creating a quality product in a lively area.
Manayunk is an amazing place, particularly Main Street. We don't do any marketing or advertising. People are just on the street. So they see they want ice cream, they come in, we serve them ice cream. It's a pretty fortuitous cycle.
A lot of people here are the regulars, so they come in, they chat up, and it's a really nice place to work. It's very casual, and it's ice cream, so a lot of people really do like it here.
Tubby Robot Ice Cream Factory features homemade ice cream in many forms, from handmade cones to huge scoops and Belgian waffle sundaes. This is the spot to visit if you're craving a sweet treat in Manayunk.
That looks fun. You can find all of their information on their website. Just visit tubbyrobot.com. So Will, does that work for your first date?
That looks awesome, but I don't think I'm ready to show her my gamer side just yet. I'm very competitive. Very competitive.
Something tells me that I don't want to know more. Why not visit Philly Aid's thrift store, where you can show her your more compassionate side with nice clothes, and you can give back to those in need. It's a win-win situation.
Hey, that could work, but I would need to know some more, so let's take a look.
We are at Philly Aid's Thrift, and we're located at 710 South 5th Street, right at the corner of 5th and Bainbridge, a block south of South Street. We donate all of our proceeds to local HIV organizations.
On the first floor, we have like bric-a-brac stuff. That's like little tchotchkes and stuff, We have dishes, we have kitchen stuff.
Some music and movie room is downstairs.
This floor is mostly the books, the clothing, vintage room, shoes, and there's a lot of shoes too. Now we have a donation side. It's basically these double doors that we have opened up Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from 12 to 6. People can donate.
So anything that's like stained, torn, nasty, cat hair, we bag that stuff up and we sell it for pennies per pound to a weight company. They in turn give it to rag companies, so they're just constantly recycling the fabrics.
They just walk them right through the front door, and we have a sorting area down there. We tend to keep like the bric-a-brac and stuff downstairs, but the clothing gets put on carts and sent to the 3rd floor and sorted and tagged.
We created our own HIV testing center, and that's located upstairs on the 2nd floor. And we partner with 4 different organizations that do that work. And what they do is they come and they rotate on the weekends and they provide free rapid HIV testing.
It's like when you go to work and it doesn't feel like work and you love your job, it's nice. It's a nice, relaxing, great place to work and volunteer.
Because these people have such a wonderful heart, and it's like one big family here.
You can learn more about them on their website at phillyaidsthrift.com. There you can see what they have in store and even donate directly to them.
Wow, that looked amazing, and for such a good cause, too. She would love it there.
Yeah, the charity aspect is quite nice. It's always good to give back to those in need.
No. I mean, she would like the clothes. She loves good clothes, old, new, used, fancy, no matter what. She always looks great.
She must have some really fine taste.
She does. She does love the finer things in life, which reminds me, the Ubuntu Fine Arts Gallery is one of her favorite places to go.
Is that so? I've never heard of it before. What's it like in there?
Well, I'll just show you.
I wanted Ubuntu Fine Art, I wanted my gallery to have those components. You know, 1, being in my neighborhood, 2, accessible to anybody, it's free to the public on the days that we're open. And the images in here, I call them portals. I've been to 18 countries and 4 different US national parks. And I feel that through the philosophy of Ubuntu, which is the universal bond of sharing that connects all humanity, that I can use these portals to help people be transported into a new space and place and time, while also offering the opportunity for new questions for everybody who walks in the door. To do that, I wanted the gallery to be welcoming, warm. This is a high-end fine art gallery that's next to a methadone clinic. The influences that Chew and Locust had on me in my opening of the gallery, I was born and raised on Chew Avenue between Locust and Woodlawn, and I've seen a lot. To be able to create a space and a place that if I was younger, I could have benefited from. So if I could walk on Chew Avenue or Germantown Avenue, which I frequented often as a kid, and walk into somebody's art gallery that's Black owned, what kind of new questions would that have opened up in me? I choose to focus on positivity. I make a conscious effort, gracefully give that back.
To learn more about Ubuntu Fine Art, you can check their website, ubuntufineart.com.
Walking around looking at art is nice and all, but for me personally, if I'm going to be walking around, I'd rather be outdoors looking at nature.
A girl would much rather look at art, Mark.
Says who? Have you ever taken a girl on a walk alongside the Schuylkill River?
No, why would I do that?
Wow, okay. Well, here, let me show you.
Today we take a trip to the Schuylkill River located in Philadelphia in the Center City area, where many people like to jog, walk, canoe, and ride their bikes while looking alongside the beautiful monuments, landmarks, and the views of the river.
So this river is really big in my opinion because I'm from California and our rivers are mostly dry. So it's just nice to have this really large flowing body of water to run next to.
The trail is about 30 miles long. It runs alongside the Schuylkill River from Center City, Philadelphia through Valley Forge National Historical Park in Montgomery County and ends in Parkerford, PA.
I wanted to go on a run and I was just looking and this was like the nicest looking area, so I just chose to run here and I'm really happy that I did because it's honestly so beautiful.
Next time you take a walk, check out the Schuylkill River Trail, which is open from sunrise to sunset.
If you would like to see how long the trail is, you can go to their website at theschuylkillrivertrail.org.
I still think she would rather look at art.
And I think you're just lazy and would rather not walk.
Hey, I'm plenty fit. After all, I go to the holodeck constantly. They have all the best virtual reality games and equipment there. Besides, everyone knows that VR is a great workout.
Well, if that's what helps you sleep at night, then let's check it out, lover boy.
Arcades. They are a great place to hang out, have fun, and immerse yourself in the games you know and love. And the holodeck is one such arcade that takes immersion to the next level.
It's the extreme reality they get out of the game where there's no reality to it. It's just their brain is fooled into thinking that it's real, but it's not. And the illusion of it being real, that's what people love about it. So we start people off on the Rift. We put them through a few different experiences. Those are the more specific games where they stand up, they move around. Different types of shooting games, like RPG games. A lot of people sweat on the stand-up station where we put them on the quest. We don't do esports yet. That's something we're starting to get into, more multiplayer games, try to get those set up for the customers. Because a lot of customers want to play together. People sweat, they drip on the mats. The shooting games, they're all over the place. Like they think they're actually in it. They crash into the wall sometimes.
This amazing arcade is located in Northern Liberties, Philadelphia. And by booking a reservation on their website, you too can have a great immersive experience.
The holodeck has all their information online at theholodeck.com. I really hope to see you there sometime, Mark, because we could play some VR games together.
Me? Oh, yeah. Still not ready to show your competitive side yet?
Well, duh. I don't have to worry about breaking up with you anytime soon.
But we aren't together, and I have my own life.
What life?
Ouch, that hurts.
Yeah, I'm sure it hurts. Well, when we come back, we see some video games and talk about some movies. So stay tuned on Just Next Door.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Good kisses. Good kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. Yeah. It was the...
Is that bacon?
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Welcome back to Just Next Door, where we highlight some of the coolest places in Philadelphia to visit.
That's right, and be honest, Will. Have anything that we've seen so far been any help for your first date?
Well, like I said before, I've been looking forward to this, and in order for everything to go right, we must take each package into consideration.
Well, you've got a point. I decided to visit a game store in Glenside, which we'll see next if she likes video games, because she could be the one.
I mean, let's hope. She will like video games, though. Who doesn't?
If she does, this might be the place to check out.
Let's roll the clip.
What we do here is basically we have a store fueled on nostalgia, but the store is also fueled on repairs and restoration of items. You know, we fix phones, we fix laptops, computers, pretty much anything. Fix your console, you rip out your HDMI port, we can fix that. We do that all day in the back.
A store fueled on nostalgia. A simple yet powerful way to describe a local haven for gamers and fans of the industry called Classic Game Junkie over in Glenside. Inside you'll find a treasure trove ranging from retro games to brand new ones, collectibles, plushies, and almost anything you can think of. But it's not just a place to pop in and buy. It's somewhere that captures that feeling of being a kid, no matter how old you are now.
When I was young, I would go into like KB Toys or like a Woolworths for look at the Nintendo section. And, you know, they had all these signs that had all the blinking lights and all that stuff. And, you know, the fact that I have them in my shop right now kind of validates what I'm doing, because I look at that and I'm like, I'm the place that people want to go to see this stuff, and it makes them feel like a kid again. And I feel like a kid again when I'm here.
Pinpointing that feeling of nostalgia that really brings you back to your days as a kid is never easy, but some of the best stories and best fuels of that feeling start with I remember.
I remember the next day, I came home from school, and my dad had 2 brand new games sitting on the console TV, because he hooked it up down there because he wanted to play. And it was Metroid and Kid Icarus. And I was like, this is nuts. These are amazing. There's passwords that you had to do. You can save your progress. You can play for hours. And at that point, that was it. I was home free from there, games forever.
If you love video games, go check out their website at classicgamejunkie.com.
Games are fun, but do you know what her favorite movie is?
Movie? I don't think I asked her that.
Movies say a lot about a person, like a lot. Speaking of movies, why don't we see what other people's favorite movies are, since you forgot to ask her the most important question that there is?
Yeah, well, we will eventually get there. Let's watch.
Bing bong! Video games are cool and all, but I'm here today to talk about movies. I'm here in some volleyball court to ask the Just Next Door community what their favorite movies are.
Oh Brother, Where Art Thou by the Coen brothers.
Good Will Hunting.
The Departed with Matt Damon.
My favorite movie is Hot Fuzz.
And why is that?
I just really like the story, and you know, I really like that one scene with Robin Williams where he was hugging Matt Damon. That was like really emotional.
I think it's just a really good crime story, and I think the people of Boston talk really funny.
I like British actors.
Any favorites in particular?
No.
Do you have any favorite quotes from the movie?
Yeah, she went in RUNNOFT.
So you like Hot Fuzz?
No.
Who do you think would win in a fight, Matt Damon or Ben Affleck?
Matt Damon.
Why?
The Departed.
This is true. Have you seen any other movie?
No.
If you could live on a deserted island with 3 movies, what would they be?
Castaway, because I'm on a deserted island. Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, the theatrical cut, and probably, it's a good one, Avengers Endgame on Blu-ray.
And that's just a quick peek into a few favorites of the Just Next Door community.
Those movies were cool, I guess.
What are you talking about? Those were some great movies.
I'm more of a TV show kind of guy.
Well, I guess you can check that off the list of taking her to the movies then.
Yeah, thinking about it, I would love to take her to all of them, but for this first date, I might have to go with Tubby Robot.
Wrong answer. You should have said mine, the game store.
Hey, it doesn't mean we might not go afterwards.
I've heard enough. After this quick break, we'll be right back with our special guest on Just Next Door.
Extinction is forever. To save America's most iconic and imperiled species from extinction, we must fight for their future. Fight to save the natural lands that wildlife call home. Fight to limit pollution. Fight for smart development. Fight for their future. And fight for ours. For so goes nature, so goes us.
Those were the days. We cruised down drags with our favorite bands. And every night we had standing dates with the same friends. We hustled, we bumped, we bus stopped, and we smoked all the time. If that was you then, get your lungs screened now. Visit screenyourlungs.org today.
Unlike other health concerns, mental illness is not always easy to see.
D-E-P-R.
Mental illness doesn't show up on a scale. Bipolar? Sorting out a mental health concern takes professional diagnosis and treatment.
Anxiety. I thought so.
If you or a loved one has a mental health concern, don't go it alone. For 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral, call 1-800-662-HELP. Learn more at samhsa.gov/support.
We're back to Just Next Door. We've been talking a lot about love today.
So how about we show some brotherly love as we welcome our guest to the show. Welcome to Just Next Door, Brother Ed. So Brother Ed, for those who may not know, can you describe what the Christian Brothers are as a group?
Sure. Back in the 17th and 18th century, a young priest in France saw that there were schools for rich women schools for rich men, schools for poor women. But there weren't any schools for poor men or poor young boys. So he got together and he established a group of people who would be brothers. There's never been a priest in the order. He wanted to have a priest in the order to minister to the brothers, but the guy passed away, and he saw that as a sign that, well, no more priests in the brothers. So the largest order of non-clerics in the Catholic Church, and our focus and our primary emphasis is on education. That's pretty much what we do. Now that can mean all kinds of things. Child care, can mean university teaching, can mean research, can be secondary schools, anyway. So we do anything to do with education. We're in about 80 countries around the world. If you walk into Hayman Hall, there's a mural on the right, which shows all the universities the brothers have in the world, and it's a pretty impressive group.
That does sound pretty amazing. So in terms of the role in education, could you maybe elaborate on what specifically a Christian brother might do for someone?
Yes, there's a difference among the different religious orders in terms of charisms. Generally speaking, the Jesuits, who are a superb educational order, I had them for 1 year when I was in high school. They kind of focus on the upper class, providing the leadership for the country and the society. The brothers try to focus on the middle class and the lower class, people who may not have the options that other people have. One of the schools I worked at was in the middle of Jersey City, and there were absolutely no other options, or very few options, for the young men who attended that school. And so we decide to provide an education for people who may not have the opportunity to do that, and to do it in all kinds of creative ways. I'll give you an example. In Cameroon, for example, the Pygmies live in Cameroon. They don't stay in one place more than 5 days. So every 5 days along the route, the brothers have set up little camps to educate them. In France, the brothers travel around with the gypsies in recreational vehicles, trying to help educate them. So I mean, and in the United States, the brothers work on the Blackfeet Reservation in Montana. And the university, through campus ministry, has a number of service trips that have gone to these different places to help people out. So it's kind of a panoramic, and when you say education, as I said, there's a lot of pieces to that puzzle.
Could you let us know how important the Christian Brothers have been for the Philadelphia community?
Actually, many times people just equate the Christian Brothers with LaSalle University. And we understand that, right? Since 1863, in the middle of the Civil War. What people may not understand is that the brothers never did it by themselves. The first board of trustees were priests, religious, lay people. In other words, were very much in with the community. And even before LaSalle was founded, in the big cities, particularly along the East Coast, the brothers taught in parochial grade schools, what we called the parochs. And then in 1927, the bishop turned West Catholic over to us. And West Catholic continues to be a legend in the city. At its height, it had 2,700 male students in two different buildings. We also, in terms of child care, very much involved with that. The brothers were involved at an orphanage in Eddington. They were involved in St. Gabriel's Hall, child care institution. I actually worked there the summer after I graduated from the university. We've had brothers run for office in Philadelphia. High schools and the university have these outreaches for aid outreach and food pantry and cleaning up the neighborhood and everything else. So we're very much in tune, in sync with the Philadelphia area, and have been ever since the brothers first came to the United States in the middle of the 19th century.
Very impressive. So taking a step back, for you specifically, since you've become a Christian brother, what would you describe as either your favorite part or your favorite role, or like the best experience that you've had?
So it's always a good question. It's always something you reflect on. especially as you finish, 3/4 of a century. Trying to make a difference. Trying to, at LaSalle, I always begin my classes and end them with saying, there are two kinds of people here, older adults and younger adults. You treat people with respect. You teach with passion and compassion. Again, to try to make a difference in people's lives. Now, that's easy enough to say, but you don't know, because you probably think you have 100 students, 2 of them love you, 2 of them dislike you, and the other 96, But hopefully it rubs off. Hopefully it rubs off in terms of what we're trying to do. And what we're trying to do is to prepare the students professionally and personally. Professionally, give you an example. If you're a computer science major, within 6 months, stuff you learned in college might be obsolete. So we have to have them open to further opportunities for study and further opportunities of where is this particular major or project going. And personally, are the values. Personally, that's the key. Campus ministry emphasizes, and I absolutely agree with them, faith, service, and community, FSC. All right, faith in God, faith in each other. And when I start every class with a moment of silence. I say, I'm not, you don't have to think about God. You think about England, you can think about flowers, you can think about the Eagles, but just take a minute to kind of reflect. Mm-hmm. And what happens is we try to show people the importance of treating people, again, with respect, with dignity. And the phrase I always use is, I don't treat people equally. I treat them fairly. And that's kind of part of what I hope has been my mantra. And I've had a lot of different jobs in the Brothers, and but teaching has always been the thing that's what I joined the Brothers to do.
It's awesome stuff. Brother Ed, I wish we could keep going, because there's a lot I want to learn about and a lot more that I want to hear. If you could leave us with maybe one last I know you kind of touched on it there, but one last parting shot, one last message about the Christian Brothers, and kind of not just the role, but one thing that you would want someone to take away from this.
We're caring, we're committed, we're focused in terms of education, and I think the Brothers have had an impact in Philadelphia far beyond what we realize because of that.
All right. Very nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I think that just about does it. We appreciate your time. That was
problem.
very well done.
Yeah, thank you for coming here.
No, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. As I said, this isn't my first rodeo.